Hi everyone, my name is Dov Hershkovitz, and this is the kickoff video for the pipeline authoring team, iteration 13.7. In this video, I'm going to call out some of the issues we are going to work on in this iteration. So let's start with the goals of the milestone, and the goal of this milestone is, and I would say the goal of the next coming milestone will contribute to our 3-year vision. And if I'll open the 3-year vision just for a second, you can see that we defined the problem, and there is a really nice 5-minute walkthrough that was done by our designer, Nadia Sotnikova, which I highly recommend you to watch it if you didn't have the time. And if we scroll further down, you can see that we have epics and sub-epics and issues and more issues. And most of the issues that I'm going to discuss today are a part of those epics and sub-epics. So everything actually, or most of the things, will contribute to our 3-year vision. So one thing that we want to complete is the MVC for a dedicated authoring area, which is listed in issue 2 to 4. So those 3 issues. And let's open this epic and see what it's all about. So a couple of months ago, we've decided that in order to improve our pipeline authoring experience, we would need, our users actually would need a dedicated authoring area. Because today, when you create or configure your pipeline, the experience is the same as you update or configure any different file. So there is nothing special about that. Although defining pipeline is important and we want to make sure we provide all the features. So the experience is very fragmented. You need to go to multiple location, and there is no like a user flow that is like user-centric. There's no like user journey that is mapped across the product. So and like today, users are doing it with a single file editor or the web IDE, or they just like use their own editor and just push changes. And the proposal is, in order to create this dedicated authoring area, to start with as an MVC, we said, let's take what we have today and just group them underneath the same roof or underneath the same home. So it will be easier for users to see what is possible when they are coming to create or update their pipeline configuration. So this epic is built out of 4 major implementation issues, some design issues, and some solution validation, and also a couple of researches that we've done. And let's go over those implementation issues. The first one is a static representation of the GitLab CI YAML. So in the last couple of iterations, the team had worked on visualizing your pipeline. So today, in order to see how the pipeline looks like, you need to push the change. So you need to create this YAML file, you need to push it, the pipeline needs to run, and only then you'll be able to see how the pipeline looks like. And with this feature, you will simply add a visualization tab next to the place where you will update your pipeline configuration. You'll be able to see how the pipeline looks like. And this is also, this issue is like an MVC for our pipeline visual builder, but this is something that will come in the coming iterations. A second issue is the ability to edit your pipeline. So we'll simply take the single file editor as it is today and just add it as another tab underneath this authoring area. And the third issue is a static validation. So again, functionality that is available today in the web IDE. As you type your configuration, we'll be able to provide some smart suggestion. We will have like syntax highlighting and autocomplete. And lastly, the linter. The linter is a tool that helps you validate the syntax of your pipeline. And the linter today is, I would say, it's well hidden. It's somewhere in the pipeline page. There is like there is a button that you need to push, and it will launch the linter. So why, if we have this great tool, why won't we put it as another tab? So we'll simply take the linter as is without any modification and just add it as another tab. And this will be the outcome of the MVC. And the decision to remove the feature flag is once we will conclude with issue number 1 and issue number 2. So those 2 issues enough to lift the feature flag, but obviously we want to complete this this epic and add the static validation and the linter as well. Okay. So let's continue with other important issues. Let's open this one. Define a pull policy for images in GitLab CI. So today you cannot define a pull policy in the pipeline configuration. It is set in the runner level, and user want it to be configurable when they are creating their pipeline, because it is really context dependent on the way you create your pipeline. So we are adding a new field which is called the pull policy, which will have 3 options. Always means that you always do a pull to your image. If not present. So if you define the location of your image and it is not there, then pull it. Never to pull it. Now, there is a serious security consideration that we went back and forth, and because of that, we've decided the outcome of this, and I won't walk you through this because you can read it by yourself, but the outcome of it means that this feature will be available for self-managed and .com users, but .com users that are not using shared runners, because you will need an admin access to the runner. There is a significant amount of work that the runner team needs to do, which is as an administrator of the runner, you need to allow the pull policy by adding some configuration file there or configuration flag or setting. And in order to do so, you need an access to the runner. Next one is this one. Reference YAML block from another file. In this issue, we are referencing a block and merge it in your pipeline configuration. And I will explain it with an example. But before that, this issue actually is a follow-up from a very popular issue. You can see more than 100 upvotes. And yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. As we went back and forth, this issue is very old. Some of the requirements that came out of this issue are already available today. But I think this is a critical feature that we are missing. And as I mentioned, example will be the easiest way to explain it. So let's assume I have three YAML files. One of them setup, and I have a predefined script for a setup, and a teardown with the job and a predefined script for a teardown. And then I have my GitLab CI YAML. Now I can include those 2 files, and then we will add a YAML function, what we call the reference, which will reference the job from that file and the key, the script. And we are doing it here, and we are doing it here. And when we do that, we will actually merge the script into the test job script. And the outcome of this pipeline is a merge script, which will have the setup script, and then my own commands if I want to, and then the teardown script, as you can see here. And the value for this is that oftentimes we see that users like to maintain their own a central location for their job. Usually there is a single team that is very skilled and experienced and build those jobs, and there are other teams that are using pipeline, but they would like to do some sort of a reference. So they normally contact this team and ask, okay, what's the latest script that we'll use, what's the latest features, and so on and so forth, and they need to write those scripts. So in this way, this team will be able to share their knowledge by allowing teams to reference to those jobs that are located in a central location. Without these features, what users are doing is they need to create those files and just clone it to their repo, and then every time that they need to update a specific script, they need to do it for each and every repo. This way, they can just reference to a single place, a single point of a single source of truth, and they'll be able to, if they need to update, they'll be able to update it once and then can reuse it in their GitLab CI YAML. The next one is highlight a downstream pipeline when hovering a trigger job. This is a nice improvement. As you can see, when you hover over a downstream job, we highlight what was the trigger job, but we don't do this when you hover over the trigger job. So the idea here is when you hover over this trigger job, we will highlight the downstream job. Okay, another one also a parent-child easier identification. There is, by the way, a lot of requirements on having an easy way to identify which job trigger which job when we are talking about bridge pipelines. So in this issue, we will add on a downstream job, we will add a text which will mention which upstream job triggered that job. So you can see this child pipeline 82 was created by microservice_b. And the last one, well, it's not really the last one because there is an additional section, is to support multiple cache in the same job. So today we support multiple cache in a single pipeline, but this request, again, very popular one, 73 upvote, is to support multiple cache in the same job. And there is the rationale why users are doing so it's very helpful with monorepo. They're using the artifact in order to do so, as you can see here. And if not, they need to, they are cloning, they are duplicating the same job and just adding another cache key and another cache key and another cache key, instead of just having like one single job and define multiple cache keys. Okay, this is it for the scope of work for engineers, but there is another section that I want to call out, that is in this iteration, we will be collaborating with the growth team. And there are 3 issues that the growth team will do, and they will do it in an A/B testing. So we'll know what is like the right way for us to go. The 2 first one are really straightforward. We are going to add a 0-state page for the jobs and the pipeline. So we'll be able to link those into the pipeline authoring area that I explained in this MVC. And the third one, which is really interesting, is to provide our user with some sort of an empty template. Because today, when you come and write your pipeline, you will see an empty blank page, which is not nice, not nice experience. And in this issue, we will provide our user with some sort of a simple hello world workflow. So they'll be able at least to see how a basic pipeline configuration looks like. They can run it, they can see that it's green, and hopefully it will increase the adoption. So we'll have like 50% of our user will see the template version, and 50% of the user will see the control version, which is just a link to the documentation. Yeah, and I think this is it. And as always, if you have any comments, feedback, or question, feel free to add them to the bottom of this thread. And I'm going to link this issue to this recording. Thank you and bye.